Behold, listeners! The tabletop hobby is full of badass femmes with equally badass stories to tell, and you can behold them in Behold Her podcast. Every episode centers around a theme, like accessibility in gaming or decolonizing Dungeons & Dragons, and features several interviews and an audio story. The goal of Behold Her? Demonstrate that the femme gamer experience is as rich and diverse as we are as individuals. So join us. Listen to Behold Her wherever podcasts are free, or check us out at patreon.com/beholdher.
You know things, I know some too. Sit right down, the femsplain them to you. If there's a thing you want to explain, these two feminists can entertain. Nerdy stuff, sexy stuff, so much to know. Tune in for the Femsplain Show.
Femsplain!
Ba-ba-ba.
Yeah.
Where are you? There you are. Welcome back to my screen.
Welcome back. I missed you in those 30 seconds.
I know, I could tell. And welcome back, listeners. I didn't miss you.
I did, because I have some codependency problems that I'm working on.
Fair. And this is Femsplained, a codependency podcast.
Yeah, it's where Avalon and I work through our codependency, and I work through my codependency on, I don't know, the vague random strangers that listen to the podcast.
I actually find that this whole project has been more enabling than anything.
Yeah, it's not actually helping us quit any of
Yes.
that. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
definitely not.
But
I don't know why I said that.
Yeah, Femsplained is a codependence-only podcast where two queer femme codependents have the mic.
Yeah, and everyone, whether you are stable or codependent,
Yes.
are able to listen, laugh, and learn with us.
Exactly. So what do we do now? We just jump right into
This is why you get mad at me, because this is the part where you're supposed to ask me, what did nerd culture do
Diana,
for
what
me
did
lately?
What did nerd culture do for you lately?
There you go. Okay, Stardew Valley updates.
Oh, thank you.
I have a baby now.
What?
He's crawling. Yeah,
What's his name? Is it Robin?
it's Dill.
Oh.
Because I wouldn't give him Robin's name. That feels too much like having like a voodoo doll or something.
That's fair.
Like if I stop playing the game, like I can't deal with that kind of stress.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, it's because my name in the game is Dylan, and I named the baby Dill. I thought it was cute for some
Is it
reason.
Harvey's baby?
It is.
Diana.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
It's like fucked up what you're doing.
what, having Harvey's baby while I traipse around town?
Well, just
looking for...
stringing him along.
Well, I mean, the time's not right. That's for sure.
Well, it's not going to get any more right now that you have a baby together.
He'll get over it. I heard that there's a way to erase his memory.
Really?
Yeah, so that he doesn't remember being married to you. So I think I'm just going to wait till I figure out how to
That
do
seems
that.
unlikely. That does not really jive with what I know about that game, but maybe.
I saw it on a Google somewhere.
I
So
have
a baby.
I've never had a baby in that game. I've never seen babies in that game. This is all new
It's
to me.
very interesting. So for like one, alarming. They do have a like love meter, like all of the other villagers.
Oh.
So like you can disappoint your baby, which I don't like.
I don't like that.
So, but you do. So you have to like, you have to pick them up every day.
Good.
Yeah. And basically right now, so my baby went through like a few weeks of just being like asleep in a crib 100% of the time. And then a few weeks of standing up in a crib, and then I could pick it up and then put it down, and then it was happy.
Okay.
And now, as of 10 minutes ago, it has started crawling around the house and like playing with stuff.
This feels accurate.
Yeah, it's
This
pretty,
feels like my experience.
yeah. It's pretty good actually. Also, I literally, as we were setting up this podcast, got the last ingredient I need to close out the entire community center. So as soon as we finish recording this podcast,
I would have fucked off on this podcast. This podcast is garbage.
I'm so excited about it. It's been such a fixation. So Stardew Valley is still really doing a lot for me. The other thing is that, and I think I can actually say this because it's gonna happen after this podcast, but I just got asked to play in a game of Burn Bright.
Ooh.
Which I haven't played before. Very excited.
Yeah.
With Gnome and Wally and a couple of the other people that I haven't played with before. And it's like very sci-fi game. I'm very excited about it. I'm going to play basically a mech suit, like a sentient mech suit.
Sure.
Which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
And I just on stream yesterday played a brand new indie game. Well, it itself is not brand new, but it is brand new to my awareness. I had never seen or heard of it. Called Oxenfree.
I don't know. I don't know if Francis has recommended that, but I really hope so.
I really hope so too. I hope Francis told me about this months ago.
And you've never heard of it. Yes.
I've never heard of it. But it's like it took like 4 hours start to finish. So it's easily a like single shot game to play. And it's scary.
Oh.
Some people told me that it was not really scary, that it was only kind of creepy.
Mm-hmm.
I got scared multiple times. So yeah, actually I was pretty impressed with it too. I'm not going to be able to play it again for a while cuz I need to like get the jitters off me, but I hear that it has like a new game plus aspect to it. So like if you continue and start a new game from your old save, it adds elements to the game
Interesting.
that are from your old save. So I'm excited to try that. So those are, I think, all the things that nerd culture has done for me lately.
Well, that's excellent. I have now had time to think about it and still have not come up with anything good.
Great.
Are you watching Winter Soldier and Falcon?
No, I was going to, but everyone I like has told me that it is not good.
I don't think it's good, but I don't particularly like those characters, and I also felt like, so for me the Captain America movies were just not the tone that I liked. It feels very sort of Born Identity-ish, and I'm just not I'm not connecting with it, but that's also not my genre. So I've meh on it, but I'm also keeping up with it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess maybe I'll check it out when, I don't know, maybe later on.
Yeah.
But from right now, a lot of people that have voiced opinions that it's just not good, and I'm like,
Yeah. It's just kind of boring.
Yeah.
I will say though that it's a spoiler.
Don't do it. It's too current for spoilers. Okay. Yeah.
It's like a small spoiler, but it's part of the thing I want to complain about requires me to make a small spoiler, so I'll skip it.
Okay. Yeah. Being disappointed by media is a very ongoing topic for me.
Yeah.
For me lately.
What else are you disappointed by?
I decided to rewatch something that I thought was good, like I don't know, 6 years ago or I don't know. I don't even know what time it is. It might have been 10 years ago. I have no idea. Called Penny Dreadful.
Yeah. Oh, you loved Penny Dreadful.
I did. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's like there's so much bad in it. Basically, I think that the only reason that I liked it is because I liked Brona and her like sex worker redemption arc.
Yeah.
Or not redemption arc, but like vengeance arc.
Yeah. That show had very promising, very strong elements, and then a lot of garbage. And it was hard. It was hard. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, then it would catch you a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just circling the drain. And thank God for like streamer and indie content.
Yeah, right.
Getting me through this pandemic. Because rewatching old stuff is not working.
It's true. I'm just watching bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm watching just the stupidest shit.
Are you watching a lot of kid media yet?
No. I'm sure
yet,
I
right?
will. But Robin has yet to experience animation in any way. So
yeah. It's too soon.
yeah.
Well, what else has nerd culture been doing for you lately?
I feel like I don't know where time is going. I feel like I'm not interacting with things the way that I was. I don't know where my days are going. I got a vaccine, which nerd culture did for me.
Yeah. Yes. That
That's probably
follows.
the biggest thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I watched 95% of King Kong versus Godzilla.
How is it? Is it good?
No.
Does Alexander Skarsgård at least look pretty?
You know what? He looks okay for himself. He's looked prettier. He looks...
That makes me upset.
I know. They tried to average him as much as they could.
They tried to nuke him.
Yeah. And he's still pushing solidly above average, but...
Yeah.
Yeah. He's always wearing a lot of clothing is part of the problem.
Oh. That is a big problem.
Yeah.
This podcast is here to neg Alexander Skarsgård.
Yeah. And I'm a huge Godzilla fan, so it's a bummer for me.
Are you really?
Oh yeah. I have a problem. Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah. When I was in high school, I used to just all weekend long just watch the old ones.
Really?
Yeah, I love them.
Wow.
I get aggressive about it.
Can I tell you what Marty said to me the other day?
What?
About this movie?
What?
He said, why don't you want to watch it? It's about two strong ladies. And I was like, because I know that apparently Godzilla is supposed to be a female.
I don't think so.
I don't know. That's what
I
I'm
mean,
being
in
told.
the Matthew Broderick one.
Right. But then I had to be like, what is Mr. Kong's title?
Oh, wow. But you know what? That's just such a ridiculous thing to say no matter
But
what.
I really liked the idea of of two like beasts fighting being like a feminist propaganda film, and I would be on board with that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's fantastic. I tried to look it up, but I'm not seeing if in this current run of Godzilla if it's supposed to be a girl. But wow, yeah. So it's just, I don't know. It's bad, but it's also boring.
Oh, that sucks. What the only thing that you need out of a monster fight movie is for it to not be boring. Well, like it doesn't even need to tell a great story. It just needs to be entertaining.
I might have been bringing overly critical energy to it, and not popcorn energy to it. But it was like some of the leaps in logic. I was just like, what the fuck is happening? What is happening? You watch it.
wait.
You watch it. And I want you to just constantly have my voice in your head saying, what is happening?
You know that you saying that is always in my head.
Yeah.
100% of the time anyway.
Yeah.
No matter what I'm doing.
When something happens that involves an axe, I want you to know that it's just that at that point I was just done.
Okay. Understood. Absolutely. Oh my God.
All right.
Well, all right. We do actually have a topic, and I'm very excited about it. And I think this one I would definitely love for there to be a man explaining it ahead of time. It's gonna be a ride. But yeah, Francis, take it away.
In a mansplain minute, everything's explained. In a mansplain minute, tell the ladies what to say. In a mansplain minute. Putting 1 minute on the man watch and go. What are we talking about today, Diana? Kino's journey? Kino's journey? All right, give me a second. Kino's journey protagonist Kino, accompanied by a talking motorcycle named Hermes, carries a single-action revolver called the Cannon. Hey, that reminds me. Did I tell you about Monster Hunter Rise? Have you played it yet? I keep telling you to play it. It's so good. You have a light bowgun. Well, that's what I'm using anyway. It's a ranged weapon with more mobility than the heavy bowgun, but the ammo types are different. Anyway, you don't have to use that. You can use the dual blades. It's better for a beginner. You should probably use the dual blades. And there's this really satisfying grind loop. You're going out, you're hunting monsters, cutting them up, making weapons, going back out to fight a stronger monster with the new weapons you got. I promise you, it sounds dull, but it's not. You will love it. And the co-op is really solid. I feel like for once Nintendo had their S word together. Wait, where are you going? Oh, right. We were talking about that other thing. What we were talking about before Monster Hunter Rise. Kino's Journey. Oh, well, that's your Mansplain Minute. We'll talk about Kino's Journey next time.
Okay, so that was whatever that was. And we briefly mentioned this in like the second to last episode.
Yes, the episode with Bee.
With Bee. We talked about the fact that there is like one anime that I like.
And I got really mad at you in a way that I feel like to listeners makes me seem psychotic.
I think that by now, if they've been listening to this podcast, they should understand this dynamic.
I need to clarify. It's not because you kept a secret from me. It's because we sometimes have such a hard time coming up with topics. And this seemed like a good one. That's all.
Yeah. So this is Kino no Tabi, or Kino's Journey, which and I will first and foremost say that this is just about the 2003 animated series of Kino no Tabi. I know that there is a book that it was based on, a visual novel that it was based on, but I haven't read
manga?
it.
I just explained this to you.
I don't know. The website said visual novels.
All right. I don't know.
You're probably right. That is exactly what that means. But I just want to preface and say that I don't know anything about the novel version. I only know about the show. And I have a very limited knowledge about the 2017 remake because it makes me mad. I only watched the first episode and it made me upset. But so briefly stating, so Kino's Journey is and Bee taught me this term. It is a slice of life. It definitely does fit that genre. It's a slice of life anime about a androgynous girl named Kino who up and leaves her hometown with a sentient motorcycle named Hermes, who is very sarcastic and dry-witted, and they do this kind of a nonstop tour of the world where they visit different countries, stay in each country for 3 days, and then move on to the next one. And it's got a very sci-fi, and I kind of almost want to say, I don't know if steampunk is exactly the right word for this, but it is like the style of dress of everyone in this universe is very old-fashioned, but the technology is very futuristic. Robots, sentient beings in technology, etc., like that. And it does have it has both like an episodic quality to it where each episode is a new country, and it starts and ends with it has a conclusion at the end of each episode, and there's no cliffhangers and stuff like that. But there is like a very subtle meta plot about why she left home, why she's run away, and why she's living this life as a traveler. And it gets seeded from the very beginning, which is very, I don't know. It's very, it's good is what I want to say, is that it's great. It's very funny. It's very witty. It's easy to watch. It's very short. Like there's 13 episodes and they're all 20 minutes long, and that's the whole show. Really. But it's made a lasting impact on me. Like I think I saw it for the first time. I don't know. I want to say 2010, 2009, something like that.
I feel like my favorite anime that I've watched or engaged with are typically like really finite runs and do have a slow reveal. It's like you start out meeting a character, you're not really sure what's up with them, and then by the last episode you're like, oh my god, I totally understand their past now, and it's over. Yes. I feel like that's that's a common thread among some of the better anime I've seen.
Yes, and the reveal to her ending. So she, like, I actually don't want to do spoilers, even though this is super old, because I am hoping people will watch it. Like I
want to watch it.
Genuinely, like I want more people to watch it, because this has been a really weird ongoing thing in my life where I've always had a lot of friends who are into lots of anime and who have always tried to get me into anime. And it's often been unsuccessful. Like I there have been a couple that I've liked, but a lot of the times whatever's been recommended to me just isn't, my genre or isn't my thing or whatever. And since like watching this one, I've gotten so many more recommendations, and I've often recommended it to other people, and it's never come up. Like it's just never come up in any conversations about anime with other people who are recommending things to me like trying to like, and like it's weird because sometimes I'll actually like bring it up as a reference point, like, hey, do you know of other ones like this, to people who watch a ton of it, and they'll have nothing for me because they haven't watched it. So I kind of feel like it's like, and it's niche in a way that actually finding a way to watch the first one is difficult. It's not on Crunchyroll. It's not like it's not on any sort of streaming platform. You have to physically buy the DVD or pirate it from a very difficult to find location. Or I think I finally found it on VRV.
Okay. So can I ask if it's so obscure how you came to see it?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want you to judge me.
Oh.
A boy I liked told me about it.
I don't that's not judging or judgy at all.
But okay, good.
I was just worried it was a boy that we don't like.
No, it's not
Okay.
a boy we don't like.
Cool.
It was actually a very nice boy, one of the few I've ever met. And he recommended it to me, and it sticks out because I internally was very like, I'm going to hate this because every single time a boy has recommended an anime to me, I have been in pain. But I was like, no, absolutely, because I was in the Google eyes
of course
stages of meeting this person. So I was like, I will watch whatever you put on. And it was like, several hours later meme where we binged the entire thing in one sitting, and it was my favorite thing in the world.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So I have no idea. And I have no idea how maybe it's not actually obscure, and maybe just the people that I happen to talk to about anime are, but it seems very.
I think it might be obscure.
I'm just going to go on a limb, to find.
Yeah. And I've never heard anybody talk about it. Not that I'm the queen of anime, but interesting. Well, if you are a listener who feels like you know quite a bit about anime, then we were particularly open to your opinion of this one and any recommendations you can make based on it.
Yeah. I know that the remake, which came out in
I think you said 17,
something like that, has gotten more. I don't know. It's on Crunchyroll. I know that it's like it's gotten it's gotten advertisements. I've seen it. Images of it on Tumblr. That's the other thing for my metric of there's no, you can Google this on you can search it on Tumblr, and you will maybe find a couple of stills that you won't it's very interesting to me because it is to me, she was my first androgyny feelings. She is a character whose gender is not discussed for the first several issues, for the first several episodes, and she looks, she's flat-chested, she wears a button-down shirt, she wears a overcoat, she has a short haircut with a hat over it. There's no real signifiers that would typically tell you what you're supposed to perceive this person as. I would only say that the difference being that in the English dub, she also has sort of a lowish voice. I believe it's been a while since I heard the original subtitled, but I believe that in the original, her voice is a little bit higher pitched. But pretty much there aren't a lot of overt signifiers of what her gender is, and it's only till I think maybe 4 episodes in that anyone refers to her in gender terms at all. So it's kind of I, watching it, remember reading her as male and then hearing female and having some neurons go off.
Yeah.
In a tingly, I like whatever I just felt.
Yeah.
kind of way. So there's, I just feel like there are probably a lot of people who would really relate to this show who may not have seen it.
Yeah.
Or relate to the aesthetic of the show. Plus the anachronism aesthetic is just, it's very cool. And I think there's a lot there.
I'm looking at just Google images from it. And I'm assuming it's the correct one because you said that the remake was a little more feminine.
It's so a little bit. The remake, Let me just pull up the remake images. So her outfit stays the same, but she has like she's still flat chested, which I think is is good. But she's very like, they've made her like really slender to the point where she has like stick legs, and like her face shape is very like slendered. It to me it felt very different, and I don't know if I'm being too judgmental. There was also a lot of like promo art for it where she was very hippie, like, and like had like these like kind of sexy poses with her guns, and like it just, I don't know, it felt like it was going to be different. So I may have approached the remake with more judgment than it deserved, but I'm still hesitant about it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's fair, especially if, as you described, a lot of what resonated with you was the perception of this person's identity. Like,
yeah,
altering that, it makes sense to be kind of disappointed or to feel a little disenfranchised by it, or
yeah. There's just this interesting scene in, I think it's like the 3rd episode. It's the first time that you have any indication of who she is. And up until, so in my brain, I had up until then been reading this character as male. And in this 3rd episode, like a person just like gives her a ring as like a gift. And she goes through this like, do I want this? And her sentient motorcycle is like, is that really for you? I don't think that's something you'd like.
Yeah.
Like kind of like, that's weird that you would like that. And then she kind of like, well, actually I do like it. And like makes that decision. And it's very like, I don't know. It's like, and in the overall story of her character, just this kind of rejection against, not even rejection against, but like stray from whatever you might call like a traditional femininity, but still like wanting to be able to enjoy and relate to feminine things on occasion.
Yeah.
It like there's just so many poignant little moments that don't even have to do with the rest of the story, but they're just there sprinkled around, and I think it's very good. And I think one of the other things that I really like about this is that she's very cool. She knows how to fire a gun. She's very clever. She's very witty, but she's not like a savior. She does not come to all these worlds and fix all their problems, make them all go away, save a bunch of people in each town. She learns about all their problems, hears them, learns about them, and kind of just absorbs whatever she's trying to absorb from that, and like moves on. Like she occasionally tries to do like a good thing or two, but she is not making the problems of these whole countries go away, which is what I initially thought might be happening. Like, oh, she's going to go to all these places, find out what's wrong with them and fix them.
Yeah.
But it is just a slice of life in that she's just learning them. I heard that the author, I forget if it's the author of the book or the showrunner, but somebody described it as like radical beauty, in that like there's beauty in everything, even if it's something you might consider broken.
Yeah.
And I really like that.
Yeah, I agree. One thing that's cool about it, that I don't know if you know, but there's a video game.
What?
Yeah.
I did not know that. No, I did not know that. When did that happen?
2003.
Wow. So right when the show aired.
Yeah,
first show.
I'm hoping there's a translated version of it. That would be pretty cool.
Well, heck, if there's subtitles, I'll
Oh
do
yeah,
it.
yeah. That also would work.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's for PS2, so maybe it's streamable. Steamable.
Yeah. Well, that's something that I have to consider. There's something that I can't tell because in most like media that I watch, I tend to prefer the original language with subtitles.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't tell if it's because of the nostalgia factor that the first one I watched was the dubbed version, that this is like an exception for me, that I like that better.
Yeah.
Or if it's because I like her voice.
Sure.
In it. I think it's very like, it has an androgynous quality to it. Also, Hermes the motorcycle
Mm-hmm.
has a great voice and is, I don't know, just has great comedic timing.
Yeah.
For a motorcycle. You know, you don't see it in
Most
a lot
fucking
of motorcycles.
Most
motorcycles, funny. It's like dad jokes all the way down. But this motorcycle, very witty.
Well, I love that. I would say that with anime, I always prefer the first version that I experience.
That you see.
Whether it's subbed or dubbed. Yeah. Because
I think that's
once
probably
you connect with a certain, I think, vocal style, it's hard for me to unmarry that from the idea I have of that character.
Yeah, like I think it's sort of like when you read a book and you have a very distinct image in your head, and then they make a version of that book and the characters don't look anything like that, and it's kind of like alienating.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it really is just the nostalgia factor that draws me to that, but I do really like the voice acting in it. It's very it's a very neat choice. A lot of vocal fry, which you know that I love.
You love that unironically.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I feel connected to it. It's just, you know, it's
I have a lot of pretty strong internalized misogyny about vocal fry.
I know.
I don't like it.
We've talked about that.
I know. I have a really big issue with it.
I know,
including my own.
Here we are on this podcast.
This podcast has been a real reality check for me.
Recording the vocal fry hour once a week.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So don't worry, I have a link for you to watch it because I so want you to watch it.
I'm obviously gonna watch it.
It's so digestible. And gosh, I feel like I have so much else to say, but I don't know what to say. But yeah, I just feel like, one, it's ridiculous that I haven't cosplayed this character yet. I think that the only thing discouraging me is that I feel like no one would know what I was cosplaying.
Right. Which, as we talked about, is the worst.
It is the worst. But I did. So I bought like her like fur cap and goggles a long time ago.
Yeah.
And in the basic attempt to sort of make my way there, but I do need a well-fit suit.
Oh my God, what a fucking dream.
I know. She wears a well-fit suit. It's good.
I want a well-fit suit like more than anything.
We gotta get you one.
Like a really gay one.
Yeah. So you know how we had like multiple weddings for you and Francis?
Yeah.
Like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I think that we should just never be done.
Oh, okay.
With having them. And so the next one.
Ooh, the next one I can be in a suit.
You could wear the fitted suit.
Yeah. Oh, I would love that. I'm mad at myself that I haven't done that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why we're in the stage of perpetual.
Yes, of perpetual weddings. Oh, and then Robin can come to the next one.
Oh.
Sometimes I have really weird disjointed thoughts where I'll see our wedding pictures and I'm like, oh, I wish Robin had been there. But that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. No,
but it's just like, oh, you missed it. Like, well, that's not, time is linear, so that's not really how that works.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get that.
So, okay, so I know we're not doing spoilers, which I do appreciate because I'm looking forward to watching it. But
yeah, I'm gonna try to stay as spoiler free.
I think you've done a good job. So my question is, in terms of journeying from country to country, in what ways do the countries differ from each other? Is it like a jarringly aesthetic difference? Does it feel really different, or does it feel kind of consistent?
It's extremely fantastical.
Okay, cool.
Like they're extremely different to the point where like and there's no like discussion of how far she's traveling between each country. But like in one, like literally like the ground shifts and changes as you move through it. So it's like geographically changing as you're there.
Oh, cool.
And like the civilizations are different. Like one is like a completely robot operated city. So there's just people aren't doing anything. Everything is done by robots. But you go to the next city and it's like kind of technology less.
Yeah.
A city where there is like trials by combat. So there's like it's extremely vastly different.
Yeah. That's what I was hoping.
From country to country.
That it would like vacillate wildly, between the different cultural experiences. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I was going to be disappointed.
Doomsday Cult one.
Ooh.
They're so each one is so interesting and so good, and it is, I don't know, it's just I guess it's just a showcase of empathy to like all of these people going through different things, which is something that resonates with me. What? Nothing.
It was just the unintentional silence that followed that made what you said seem very heavy, which is not a bad thing. It's just like,
and then we'll just end the podcast right there.
Yeah. Well, cool. I'm trying so hard not to lead you into spoilers.
All right. So I think that Hermes the motorcycle, which they call him a motorrad. I don't know if that's just a translation difference, and that's just what the word for motorcycle is. But him being sentient is very normal. There are like he talks to other people other than the main character, which is interesting.
Yeah. That's an important thing to establish, I feel like.
Yeah. There's like it's an interesting thing because when the show starts and they talk, you're kind of wondering like if she's just on the road and just talking to this, imagining these conversations with her bike because she's lonely. Mm-hmm. And also I think that it's very cool that she, like, I don't know, that she has like names for her guns. She's just like a very I don't know, cool character aesthetically. Kelly Cousins is the voice actor for her, and let's see if she does anything that I recognize. Nope, nothing that I recognize. I was kind of, I don't know. Sometimes now I think I've been lulled into a false sense of understanding the world of voice acting.
Yeah.
Where I'm
Critical
like,
Role can do that, I feel like.
yeah. Where like, I feel like so often now I like look at like, oh, who voiced that character in that video game, in that cartoon? And it's someone I recognize. And I kind of half expected to look up this person and be like, oh, she was also,
Yeah.
you know, so, but yeah, no, nothing I recognize. But yeah, so there's a lot that I love about it. It has a lot of nostalgia factor for me. It has a lot of, like even just rewatching it, which it has been a while. It felt very warm to like to see it again.
Yeah.
And to see those characters again, and to, you know, there's something inherently great about a wisecracking motorcycle. It's very good.
I'm very excited to watch it.
I think you're gonna like it. I think you're gonna.
I'm sure I will. I like most anime that I've seen. I don't seek it out, but if it's recommended to me, then I usually watch it and I usually like it. Are you excited to either watch the new one or read the comic? I feel
like I should read the original comic, because I liked the original show so much that I feel like I'm going to enjoy what it was based on, because I don't know, the remake seems to be like it went away from that. And so I'm assuming that going closer to the source material is going to get me the story that I am looking for.
Yeah. No, I think you're...
So I kind of feel like that's what I want to do.
And that's perfect, because you have that manga reading homework also.
I do. And it is... I think it's very interesting that I don't know if maybe this is my perception of things, but like the original book came out in 2000 and the show came out in 2003, which feels like a very short turnaround time to make a show out of something.
I have no idea what a normal turnaround time is for that. Sailor Moon was weird because they both came out like at the same time.
What?
It was like this big push for this, like, this is going to be amazing. Everyone's going to love this. Like, push them both.
Oh.
There's a very small difference in time. But I don't think that's normal.
Maybe that's just an Americanized thing where like the book comes out and then, you know, popularity is gauged before a decision is made about to make it into media. But yeah, I was looking that the book came out in 2000 and then the show came out in 2003. That feels like it's very fast. And which I don't know. To me, I'm maybe overthinking it, but thinking that it's probably very close to the source material, that it's like a true adaptation.
Yeah, I mean, I am basing that on nothing, but what you've told me about the adaptation it doesn't feel commercialized, right? The themes that you've kind of touched on and stuff like that, I would imagine it's pretty close.
Yeah,
it sounds really artistic, and
it is. It's very artistic. It feels very radical in that way. It does not seem to have like a moral like push that it's telling you. You know, like so Kino does defend herself on occasion, but she doesn't enforce her like morality on any of the groups she encounters, which, you know, to me can actually be something that like feels kind of jarring, like that you're not you know trying to, you know, better everything around you or whatever, but in this story it feels very intentional to be like, no, we were just here to observe and we're just gonna move on.
Yeah.
So I think that that's kind of a radical thing and kind of a bold an artistic story to tell. And I liked it a lot. And I don't know. That's it. I don't know. I just really think it's neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I am happy to take your word for it that it's neat. And then I will also join you in the neatness train. I'm sad that there doesn't seem to be a second humanoid character.
So no, recurring wise, no. There are some backstory characters that you get to meet in flashbacks, and you obviously get to meet the people that she meets in these different countries. That seems to be something that changes in the remake. From just like the cover art, it looks like there are multiple, like there's a supported cast.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I could be misinterpreting that, but that's what it seems like. But yeah, in the first one, it's just her and her motorcycle.
So there's nothing that I couldn't assign a character to
there's
myself.
There's no shipping. Qualities.
There's no shipping. There's no FMKing.
No.
How dare you?
Mine would be I fuck marry the motorcycle.
You killed Kino?
Well, just to take over and assume her life.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah. Which, for anybody who listening who does know the show, I think that I'm right about that.
Can I tell you that I was going to say, what I wanted to say was, oh, so you're talented Mr. Ripleying. But I almost said, you're what's eating Gilbert Graping.
What the fuck does that mean?
Well, if you don't know, then don't worry about it. But it was definitely an incorrect way to represent what you just said.
Yeah, but I mean, I know the movie What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Right, but do you know talented Mr. Ripley?
Yes.
Okay, so that makes sense.
That
like you're assuming the identity of this. Yes. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
That is not what What's Eating Gilbert Graping would be.
No. Okay. I thought maybe I had missed a key element.
Nope. My brain just swapped the titles of those films.
Could not be more.
Could not be more different from each other.
I like that though. So Avalon, what besides watching this show, what are you going to do after this?
Oh my God. Well, for once, I am not going to empty my bladder. Because I don't have to, not because I refuse to. And
Proud of you.
I don't know. I'm probably going to just clean.
Yeah. I mean, or go to bed, take a bath.
Well, oh my God. My tub is not in a state to take a bath in. Unfortunately, I'm in this place now where I can't take baths anymore because I need to clean my tub and I don't want to.
Oh God, cleaning the tub it is a chore.
It's the worst.
It's a bad chore, yeah.
No, I'm not going to do any heavy cleaning. I just, Francis and I have really made a point to make sure we reset the house every night because the next day can be so much worse depending on that.
Yeah. No, that's very smart.
Especially because I have to get up pretty early, usually with Robin, and it's just like really nice to not come downstairs and have any issues. So
yeah, to like add to your
it just stress. It changes the energy in a big way. So yeah, I'm just gonna reset the house and go to sleep.
I like that. I don't have that so much during the week, although I should, but mine is big for the end of the week.
Yeah.
I cannot start my weekend with disarray. Like it feels bad.
Yeah. No, it feels bad.
Start the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
What about you?
I am going to finish the community center in my
That's right. Are you going to summon your grandpa?
I am after I do that. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God. You should stream that.
I know. It's very difficult for me to wait though.
Can you make a save and then now I guess Stardew doesn't work that way. It's not like you can make a save and play it and then go back to your save. Yeah.
What I probably will do is I'm just going to finish the community center and then I won't summon my grandpa.
Yeah.
after.
I have just next to me, so I'm going to hold it up, a little glasses cleaning cloth that's Stardew.
That's so cute.
We have a bunch of Stardew stuff.
I want to try, I think after this, because I know that the community center is like the big thing until you start doing like the desert stuff and like all of that. But like, I kind of want to start playing with mods after this.
Yeah, that's a world that I do not know anything about.
I saw one on a stream the other day where you make like the chickens cuter and like the pigs fatter. Ooh. And I want fatter pigs.
Oh yeah. I also want fatter pigs. I don't know what cuter chickens would look like.
They look less pixely and more cartoony. They look like little
fluffers.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yes, I think that's my next adventure.
Are there any other mods you're excited about?
So most of the ones that have been recommended to me by chatters in the stream are ones that make the game harder, which
why?
I don't know why you would recommend that to me. So not those, but there are lots of them that make the game cuter. Ooh. And that's basically what I'm gonna do. There's ones that like transform all the houses into fairy houses. So I want to do that. Yeah,
I love that. Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to say okay in a way that interrupted you quite as abruptly as that seemed to have.
No, it's fine.
Do you have anything to plug?
Do I have anything to plug? I don't think so, but I guess come and check out my stream. My stream is changing. I'm gonna be moving, I think, my Wednesday night stream to Thursday nights. That's all I have for you right now. And also in the month of April, if you want dice, you can get 10% off your dice at dieharddice.com by putting in the code SuperApril at checkout. Which, I don't know, it makes me feel, it feels very Ninja Turtle-y to me.
SuperApril? Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah. So that's it. What do you have to pitch?
I got nothing going on. I feel like February, so much going on. March, nothing. April, nothing.
Yeah.
I need to figure that out, I guess.
I know. Same.
Yeah.
Same. Well, we'll get there.
But Patreon.
A big thank you to everybody who's supported us on Patreon. It's been really crucial and a really big deal, and we really appreciate it from everyone. But we want to say a special shout out to Nuance, Daniel, Celeste, and of course, John Mystery. John Mystery, we're watching.
I think it's Gian.
I think it's Jorn Mystery?
Jorn, for sure. Yes.
Jorn Mystery. Yorn?
Yeah.
Yeen, I think it is.
Yeah.
I think the J is silent and the Yeen Mystery.
Maybe the N is silent, so it's yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
mystery.
mystery.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, Avalon, have a good night.
Good night. Bye.
Bye. You can find all of our Femsplained content either on patreon.com/Femsplained. Twitter, you can find us at FemsplainedCast. Instagram, you can find us at Femsplained Podcast. And you can check out superdylan.com/Femsplained to find the guest form and all of the different places where you can listen and connect with us.
Awesome. You can find and follow me, Avalon, at @A_catattack on both Twitter and Twitch.
And you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, and all the places at SuperDylan. And that is DILLIN.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your support. Bye.
Bye.
Fly!